G'day, you're watching The Reader coming to you from the wide brown land, and today I have a viewer reading via Zoom with Em, not her real name. Now, I'm happy to read for most things, but usually they have a focus on giving querents a new perspective on their situation and the things they might consider moving forwards. But if you want to know what your crush thinks about you, or whether your ex will return and apologise for all the mean things he said, I'll read for that too. Now, because we live in a very litigious world, I need to give the hashtag standard disclaimer, because believe it or not, fortune telling is actually illegal in many parts of the world. Viewers, while I believe that cards can give you information about other people and what might happen to you if you take certain courses of action, I'm also just a middle-aged bloke sitting in his lounge room or on the veranda, posting videos of himself telling stories based on the things he sees in a deck of tarot cards. I advise you to take what he says with a gram of skepticism, and if you take what he says seriously, that's on you. Today I'll be using the vintagey Pam A deck by Conrad Stein in a 3 to 5 card narrative spread, which means the cards have no specific meaning based on their position, but instead they contribute to a narrative. If you want your own copy of this deck, you can get it from makeplayingcards.com, and there's a link in the description below. So with all of that out of the way, Em, what brings you to my tarot table today?
Well, my situation is I had a best friend, let's call him F. We were very close. We were confidants. We were companions. We would go out to eat. We would hang out, and then we would also travel together. So we were trusted and close. And then it slowly became romantic. Um, and it was romantic and very nice. He was very present for a solid 3 months. And then one day when I was visiting, he was actually sick with a cold. And I caught his cold. So the next 2 weeks, we couldn't see each other. And I was quite sick. I was getting fevers and such. And he was through text and phone offering to take care of me, come over, give me soup. And I said, no, 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 don't get sick again. You just wait. And then suddenly one day he didn't want to talk to me at all. Not on the phone, not in person, just, I'm not there yet. I don't feel very close to you. And I don't want to continue doing this. And so
So how
question.
did you get that message?
That message was via text, and
Okay.
then when I finally did get more information from him, he just said that he just didn't want to continue. Um, so is it one question
Yeah, that's
that I
fine.
asked?
Yep.
Okay. I guess if I have to narrow down all the questions I have, what happened to make him flip a switch like that?
During that 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look what the cards have to say. Okay. First card is the Fool. Second card, the Queen of Wands. Third card, the Ace of Cups. And I'll do one more. Fourth card, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so basically looking at these cards, I think the Fool says is that he progressed from the friendship part to the romantic part without really thinking about what that might mean and the implications thereof. So I think what's happened to F is that he's gone into something without really knowing what was going on, and later on he's realized he's just tumbled off this cliff and it might not be as good as he wanted it to be. Now, your role in the relationship is the Queen of Wands. This is a woman of action and a woman who wants to get things done. Would that be a fair categorization of your of how you approach this relationship?
I don't think that I was pushy, but I was clear with what my intentions were, so I'd say yes.
Yeah, I don't think the Queen is a particularly pushy person, but she knows what she wants, and she asks for it and expects it to be delivered, or to things to go, to find out what should be happening. The Ace of Cups is a card about new beginnings. So I think F thought that this would be something really good, and a new start in the relationship front, and you probably did too. It just hasn't worked out, because the final card here is the Wheel of Fortune, which basically means that people don't really change. You know, they have their up moments and their down moments, but they're stuck on the wheel, and yeah, that's where it goes. So I think the issue is that F didn't think about the situation particularly well, and during the 2 weeks that you were separated from each other, even though he was offering to bring soup and look after you and all those kind of things, he's kind of reassessed the situation and decided it's not for him. Would you like me to pull an extra card to see what the advice might be?
Sure.
Okay, so an advice card. We have Strength. Strength is a third major card that we've drawn in this spread, so I think it's fairly significant, and the whole spread, I think, should give you some really good things to think about. Strength is a card which shows a woman taming a lion. Now, the lion is shown on the outside here, but in most cases, it's about your inner passions and your inner drive. So it's a case that the advice here is to suppress the feelings of hurt and loss that you might have been experiencing, and go about moving forward in a more considered kind of way. Now, that might involve approaching F and having a discussion about what went wrong, and whether in fact you can re-establish the relationship, or whether it's gone forever. But in either case, it needs to be done dispassionately. That's the advice card. So what do you think of that reading?
It needs to be done dispassionately.
Yes. So yeah, it's a case of making it clear to F that you just want to find out what happens and whether or not you can remain friends. Like if you can just say that the romantic part of the relationship is over, but that you still want to be friends if that's the case.
I see. That sounds like it probably what happened, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't show anybody else coming in,
Yeah.
so
I don't think the Fool has found another person. I think if the Lovers or the Two of Cups had appeared, or the Seven of Swords, which shows somebody sneaking off, then it might be the fact that he's found another partner. But based on the cards that are fallen on my keyboard.
I see. Is it possible to have another question?
Sure, I could probably throw another one for you.
I'll give some more insight. So, I have spoken to F again, and he was very defensive and just a completely different person when I was asking him what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that all went down the drain, and we're no longer in contact.
Right.
Is that it? Are we severed? Is that the end of things?
Okay. Well, I can just draw another single card to try to give me some insight into what might be happening there. And I get the Six of Pentacles. Now, this is a card that often represents charity and giving back to those who aren't as fortunate as yourself in these kind of situations. So based on this card, I think there is a possibility that things could, where you could reconnect with each other down the track. I think it's a case of handing things out to him in sort of not all at once, but sort of piece by piece, so that you can reestablish the relationship there. Now, this might take quite a while, and it's just a case of slowly reminding if the sorts of things that you used to have, and that you'd like them to come back. But again, as with the previous card, it needs to be done fairly dispassionately.
I see.
I'm sorry I don't have some better news from the cards like that, but it's just the kind of cards that fall to the table.
No, I see. Well, I guess I feel better knowing that it wasn't another person, and it doesn't seem like it was me, like an issue with me. So I don't know. That gives me some, I feel better.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, so I'm glad that the reading resonated with you a bit, did it?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Well, thanks, Em, for joining me on Zoom today to talk about this. As I said, I'll be uploading this onto my YouTube channel, which you can find if you put after youtube.com, if you put /@tarotdownunder, that will bring you to my channel, because otherwise, because I've got a very low view count, you'll never find it. So viewers, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you honor me with a subscription and tell me how wonderful I am in the comments below. If you'd like to be a volunteer querent yourself or snag a private reading, please contact me at downundertarot@gmail.com to discuss the terms and conditions. I've been the reader, now signing off from the land of ragged mountain ranges of droughts and flooding rain.